Hello students, good morning. Today's class is the continuation of the previous class. Our previous class was about scientific induction, means its definition and characteristics. Now, in order to explain the characteristics of scientific induction, I had discussed some points. Some are also there, which now I am going to discuss. So, let us start. What are the characteristics or marks of scientific induction? Firstly, scientific induction establishes a general real proposition, not particular or verbal. Secondly, scientific induction is based on observation of facts, because when we establish that all men are mortal, we first observe some particular cases. Ram is mortal, Sham is mortal, etc., etc. And on the basis of these observed facts, we establish a general real proposition, that is, all men are mortal. Thirdly, in scientific induction, there is an inductive leap or hazard, and this is the very essence of induction, you know it. And as scientific induction belongs to the group of induction proper, and the characteristics of induction proper is that there must be an inductive leap. So, in case of scientific induction also, that means one of the characteristics of scientific induction is that in scientific induction there is an inductive leap or hazard, and it is very much necessary, important. Now, last characteristics of scientific induction is that scientific induction is based on two presuppositions. What are they? They are the law of causation and the law of the principle of the uniformity of nature. Now, first question is, why do you need these two laws? These two principles, that means the law of causation and the principle of the uniformity of nature, these are known as the formal ground of induction, because what happens in case of induction? We establishes a general real proposition, say all men are mortal. Naturally, question is, how do you know all men are mortal? It is not possible to perceive all. We are perceiving some, and with the help of these some observed facts, we are, with the help of inductive leap, we are jumping from some to all. So, here we have to justify. Without perceiving all men, how can you say all men are mortal? So, in order to justify this proposition, these two laws, that is the law of causation and the principle of the uniformity of nature, is very much necessary. So, these two principles are the postulates of induction. They are self-evident and accepted to be true without any proof. And that is why these two principles are known as the informal ground of induction, because in order to justify the induction, we are to take the help of these two laws. Because in scientific induction we establish a general proposition on an observation of particular instances, and in order to do this, scientific induction have to take these two laws of causation and the uniformity of nature for granted. Now, the question is, what is law of causation and what is the principle of the uniformity of nature? And you know what is law of causation is? Law of causation says that every event must have a cause. Without cause, no event can occur. I repeat, without cause, no event can occur. And law of uniformity of nature states that, as you know, under similar circumstances, nature behaves in the same way, because nature is uniform. There is no whim or caprice. That means there is no chance of sudden change. Because nature is uniform. So, by combining these two laws, that means the law of causation and the principle of the uniformity of nature, we come to know that if a cause produces an effect under similar circumstances, the same cause will produce the same effect. For example, when we find that there is a causal connection between humanity and mortality, we further assume that this causal relation will be true in all cases under similar circumstances. That means, when you say all men are mortal, here man and mortality, that means humanity and mortality, these two are causally related. There is a causal relation between humanity and mortality, and if these two terms are causally related, and if it happens in one case, our principle of the uniformity of nature says that in all cases it will happen. That is why we can say that when we find that there is a causal connection between humanity and mortality, we further assume that this causal relation will be true in all cases under similar circumstances. and this is the reason the conclusion of scientific induction is certain, as it is based on the establishment of causal relation between two facts. This is why this inference is called scientific induction, because it is certain, and this is because there is a causal relation between two terms. So, these are all about the characteristics or marks of scientific induction. This is all about scientific induction. Now, I am going to discuss the second kind, that is the unscientific induction and its characteristics. Now, I am going to discuss the unscientific induction, or it is also known as induction per simple enumeration. Let us see what it is. Unscientific induction or induction per simple enumeration is the establishment of a general real proposition on the ground of mere uniform or uncontradicted experience, without any attempt at explaining a causal connection. See, first thing is that in case of scientific induction, there is a causal connection, but in case of unscientific induction, no causal connection is there. For example, when we say all crows are black, we know all crows are black, all swans are white, etc. So, when you say all crows are black, question is, how do you know? Answer is, so far as our experience goes, we have seen only black crows. Okay. That means till today we have never seen crows of any other colors. Not even we have ever heard that anyone else ever has seen a crow of any other color. That means, in that case, our experiences that all crows are black, the color of the crows are black, our experiences are uniform and uncontradicted. That is why induction by simple enumeration is generalization from uncontradicted experience. So, definition says that induction by simple enumeration is the establishment of a general real proposition on the ground of mere uniform or uncontradicted experience without any attempt at explaining a causal connection. So, this is the very definition of unscientific induction. Now, let us explain its characteristics and the following are the characteristics of unscientific induction. What are they? First one is the conclusion of unscientific induction is a general real proposition. What it is? It is a proposition because it makes a relation between two terms. Okay. In the proposition, for example, all crows are black. Here we find a relation between two terms, and the proposition is that which establishes a relation between two terms. So, in the proposition all crows are black, we find a relation between two terms, crows and blackness. So, it is a proposition. Again, it is a general proposition, as the subject term all crows is a general term, because the very word all is there, all crows, it is a general term. It is again a real proposition. The conclusion of unscientific induction is a general real proposition. So, it is real proposition because the predicate term, that is blackness, when you say all crows are black, here the predicate term blackness is not included in the connotation of the term subject, that is crows. Crows are black, we get this from our experience, because blackness is not the characteristics of a crow. That means, in order to become a crow, blackness is not its characteristics. Crows are maybe of white color, red color. So, blackness is not the characteristics of crow. We get this through our experience, because the predicate term blackness is not included in the connotation of the subject term crows. It is not the quality of the subject term crow. It is not the quality. We are getting this through our experiences. That means, predicate here is giving us something new information regarding subject. That is why the conclusion of unscientific induction is a general real proposition. First characteristics. Second is, in unscientific induction, the premises are derived from observation and not from experiment. I repeat, the premises are derived from observation, but not from experiment. Here, on the basis of uncontradicted observational experience of some cases, we arrived at a universal conclusion. That means, when we say all crows are black, after perceiving some crows as black, we establishes a general proposition that all crows are black. Here simply we observe some black crows, and with the help of these observed cases, we make our mind that, oh, this is the case, crows are black, and we say all crows are black. We are simply observing some facts, no experiment is there. While observing some particular instances, if we find no exception to such observation, then we make a generalization. In that case also, after observing some crows as black, simply observing that some crows as black, we make a generalization. That means, in our experience, we have observed only black crows without any exception. We have observed only black crows, not red or white or green. So, it is uncontradicted, because we find here no negative instances. So, with the observation of some uncontradicted cases, we establish a conclusion that all crows are black. That is why it is said that in scientific induction, the premises are derived from observation, not from experiment. Third characteristics, unscientific induction is a form of induction proper because there is an inductive leap. As we know, inductive leap is the very essence of induction. That means it is the essential characteristics of induction proper. And that is why unscientific induction belongs to the group of induction proper. In the premises, that means when we make some premises, that is this crow is black, this crow is black, this crow is black, we have particular instances from which we infer a general proposition. That means in that case we have passage from sum to all, known to unknown, or particular to general. So, in unscientific induction also inductive leap is very much present. After observing some cases of crows that are black, we jump from that observed or that some cases to all, that all crows are black. So, inductive leap is very much there. This is the third characteristics of unscientific induction. Next, unscientific induction may also be called imperfect induction because it lacks the characteristics of perfect induction. I repeat, unscientific induction may also be called imperfect induction because it lacks the characteristics of perfect induction. That means perfect induction and imperfect induction, there is a difference between these two type of induction, and unscientific induction belongs to the group of imperfect induction, not in the group of perfect induction. Now, let us first see what is perfect induction. In perfect induction, we observe all the cases coming under the general conclusion and make a generalization. That means, first thing about perfect induction is that in perfect induction there is no inductive leap. Inductive leap is very much absent in case of perfect induction, because in perfect induction we observe all the cases coming under the general conclusion and make a generalization. For example, suppose 20 number of mangoes are there in a basket. Now, we are to find out whether these 20 number of mangoes are ripe or not. Now, in order to find out whether they are ripe or not, we suppose test all these 20 mangoes and observe that all these 20 number of mangoes are ripe. And we then make a conclusion that all the mangoes contained in a basket are ripe, and this is an example of a perfect induction. After observing all the cases, that is, after observing all the 20 mangoes as ripe, we make a conclusion that all the 20 mangoes which is there in a basket are ripe. So, there is no scope for inductive leap, and this type of induction is known as perfect induction, but unscientific induction is not of that kind. That is why unscientific induction may also be called imperfect induction, because it lacks the characteristics of perfect induction. It is also known as imperfect enumeration to distinguish it from the so called perfect induction or induction by complete enumeration, in which all the particulars coming under the sweep of the general proposition are enumerated. So, as unscientific induction belongs to the group of proper induction, where the inductive leap is very much present. So, it lacks the characteristics of perfect induction, because in case of perfect induction no inductive leap is there, because after examining all the cases coming under a particular fact, we make a conclusion. So, this is the fourth characteristics of unscientific induction. Some points are also there which I will explain in our next class, and then we will proceed to another kinds of induction proper, that is analogy. So, for today let me stop here. Thank you.